You've been silenced for very long, and every time you try to resist, they put you in jail.
For my children.
You've controlled your mind for so long to the point where you let them decide what your kids should learn, what gender they will be. And now you've let them to come for the whole nation, destroying what Britain once stood up for. They use this media machine not to report the facts to you, but to tell you what to think and what you should do.
Always be careful.
They're hiding the facts behind the noise, and they're recruiting pedophiles to tell you how to behave. And these politicians who meant to protect you, they're out there smashing your head on the ground. And no jail time for them. This road we've been on has been very dark for a very long time, and it's time to shine a light on the truth and advocate for justice. We the people make the nation, and if we don't stand up and advocate for justice, then we certainly won't make this nation great again. So we have to create a place for that, a place that can contribute to a more informed society. And that place is Next Frontier Media.
You are listening to The Baraka Show.
I hope you don't mind, but I'd like to share with you why I'm so mad, really mad. I have just read that we, Britain, are sending £19 million to Pakistan to help, amongst other things, with children's sexual exploitation. Oh, lovely. Thank you very much. Can we not start spending money on things when they are needed here first? It's our taxpayers' money. We've got grooming gangs now in London, although, of course, our wonderful Mayor Sadiq Khan doesn't actually know what a grooming gang is, it would appear. The Metropolitan Police are £260 million short on their budget, and they're now looking into 9,000 cases that could be grooming gangs.
Ladies and gentlemen, patriots, truth seekers, digital warriors, welcome back to the show once again. As you already know, this is not a regular broadcast. People are furious. Everybody is mad. Everybody is angry. And it makes sense.
I'd like to share with you why I'm so mad, really mad. I have just read that we, Britain, are sending £19 million to Pakistan.
Everybody is mad.
To help.
If you're not mad, I don't know where you're. I don't know if you work or if you live here, if you're paying into the system. If you're not mad, I don't know what will make you mad. Everybody's furious. I am. You ought to be as well. It makes absolutely no sense. It makes zero freaking sense. Folks, man, it's crazy where we are today, where we have the politicians here who are more reluctant to, they are more interested in taking care of others far away from us. Pakistan, what do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah, they are more interested in sending money to Pakistan to help them combat, to help them protect the girls from some sexual exploitation. Yes, I know. You think, you'll be like, oh, bro, are you serious? They sent money to Pakistan to help them tackle the grooming gang over there? Yeah, they did. How much did they send? Maybe they sent £200, Barack. Stop exaggerating. Actually, they sent a lot of money. And it's a I don't know if it's a monthly thing or yearly thing, but not all of it has been sent. So it's gonna be sent. We're gonna keep sending till 2030. So we got a long way to go. We're gonna keep sending till 2030 because we want them to keep their girls safe in Pakistan. And we're gonna keep sending money. We're gonna keep sending money. Last year we sent £500,000. And of course, since we pledged £19 million, that means we're going to keep sending. And I'm sure the amount will go up because, of course, we can't keep sending £500,000 to actually finish the payment by 2030. So we're going to have to send more. I don't know, maybe this year we're going to send 2 million or 3 million or 4 million. I don't know. Maybe we might send the rest this year. I don't know. But all I know is that we've pledged that we're going to help them tackle their children exploitation, sexual exploitation in Pakistan. But in the UK, In the UK, we have this. This is what we have in the UK, folks. A grooming gang victim who was raped and abused by at least 50 men in Bradford is insulted as compensation claims are denied. Yeah. Why would they care about you? They want to take care of a little kid. Of course, I'm not endorsing. I'm not in support of girls in Pakistan going through the horrible stuff that they might be going through. Of course, I do not support it. But I care about the people here first. You know, Britain first. All right. So this lady, Fiona Goddard, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of her, but she's been everywhere, rightfully so. And she's advocating for justice for younger kids who might be going through what she went through. Of course, she applied for compensation and that was denied. Slapped in her face. Denied. How dare you? How dare you trying to come here asking for compensation? Do you know who you're talking to? How freaking dare you? They said. But hey, Pakistan wants some help? Yeah, we're gonna send them something. Pakistan wants some help. We're gonna send them something, folks. We always gonna send them something. Look at this PDF. Furious as Pakistan giving millions of UK cash to tackle child sex abuse, while Britain fails to protect its own girls, its own children, its own women and children, its own young boys too, because young boys do get, assaulted too. The story reads on. Britain has been blasted for sending £19 million to Pakistan to tackle illegal migration and child exploitation. Imagine, look at this. So we can't fix our border, but we're gonna send the money to fix their problem, right? Critics have argued that the government are sending millions of pounds overseas while failing to protect children in our own country. The criticism comes after government commissioned report found earlier this year, that was clear evidence of overrepresentation among suspects of Asian and Pakistani heritage men in sexual, of course, exploitation and abuse cases in the UK, meaning the grooming gang. So we found out that most children who were sexually assaulted early 2025, that's when we started debating national inquiry, right? Remember 2025, early in January, when Elon Musk waited in as well, and everybody was talking about it. Even J.K. Rowling came in too, started talking about it, and we kind of got a little bit firing going on, but of course now we're not talking about it. But now we're finding out that we're sending money to Pakistan, even though a lot of people who participated in the grooming gang, overwhelmingly people who contribute to the grooming gang in the UK are from Pakistan origin. So why are we sending money there for them to tackle their problems when we have a big problem here? It's insane, folks. All right, we got more stories to cover, but let's carry on with this first one. But I'm going to tell you what next one we're going to cover next, but we got a lot of stories to cover today, folks. All right, so we sent money there to Pakistan, 90 million. We pledged to send money to Pakistan, but to help them combat illegal migration, right? So the idea is basically, we all know that a lot of people who come in illegally, most of them are coming from Pakistan, right? We got Iran, Pakistan, Iraq. Those are the main ones, but we never really talk about it. Shabana Mahmood never really mentioned it. Okay, she banned Congo and she banned some other African countries. All right, how many people are coming in illegally from Congo? I don't know. Probably the list is, they're probably like number in the 30s. Maybe in 50s. No, not many people are coming here illegally, but from Congo. But yeah, Shabana Mahmood is going to go after them. She's going to go after some random country, maybe like Togo or something. Yeah, maybe she's going to go after some other country in Nigeria. Maybe she's going to go after South Africa as well and be like, yeah, we're going to tackle South Africa, bringing illegal migrants in. Okay, that's what Shabana Mahmood wants to do. But she'll look at a country like Pakistan, Iraq, Syria, Iran, And then she'll look at the people who are actually coming in, and she'll ignore that. And now we're finding out that we're sending 19 million pounds to Pakistan because we want to help them with illegal migration and children sex exploitation. I mean, it's like somebody taking, it's like, all right, this is what it is. No, let me actually tell you, this is what it is. All right. This is exactly what it is. You go out there, you make food, you're in the kitchen, you're making food, you're working hard, whatever you're making nice food, all right? You put it on the table, it's nice, it's lovely. Your kids are hungry, of course. And yeah, just before you call them up to come to the kitchen or to come to the dining table, a guy walks in. He has a family back over there. His house is somewhere far. Maybe his house is in another town. He comes in. He somehow speaks to somebody who did not make the food. Maybe he speaks to, I don't know, some guy in the house. And the guy in the house somehow negotiates in giving the guy the food. And then when the kids come into the dining table, they're like, hey, we're hungry. Where's the food? And that guy walks away with the food and he goes to give his kids. This is exactly what it is. Pakistan gets the money to protect its children, to protect them from sexual exploitation. But Britain, no. We can't even get, we think of how much money, think of how hard it was to get national inquiry. Think of how hard we have to go back and forth, just for them to approve couple areas. And so many more were denied. Even local inquiry were denied. Because, we don't have enough infrastructure. We don't have enough money to invest. Or we don't have enough data. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough manpower, resources. We don't have that, right? But somehow we can make money out of thin air and send it to Pakistan so they can protect their children and stop the illegal migrants. Yes, when you look at the deal, before I play Susan Hall, actually let's play Susan Hall, then we'll break it. Then we'll break the whole thing down. All right. Let's play Susan Hall.
If you don't mind, but I'd like to share with you why I'm so mad, really mad. I have just read that we, Britain, are sending £19 million to Pakistan to help, amongst other things, with children's sexual exploitation. Oh, lovely. Thank you very much. Can we not start spending money on things when they are needed here first? It's our taxpayers' money. We've got grooming gangs now in London, although, of course, our wonderful Mayor Sadiq Khan doesn't actually know what a grooming gang is, it would appear. The Metropolitan Police are £260 million short on their budget, and they're now looking into 9,000 cases that could be grooming gangs. Where are they going to get the money to do that? Oh, let me think. Pakistan has been sent £19 million. For God's sake, this is our money. This is taxpayers' money. Can we please sort issues out here before our government just starts handing it out elsewhere? It's totally unacceptable.
Yeah, unacceptable. Of course it is. But guess what? Pakistan wants it. They're gonna get it. And the crazy thing is that, we have victims here who are being denied their compensation. We have victims who cannot, they cannot get what they're asking for. Like Fiona Goddard, grooming gang victim who was raped and abused by at least 50 men in Bradford, is insulted as compensation is denied. This is what we have here. This lady was raped by over 50 men, and guess what? She wants some form of recognition, or some form of like, okay, cool, I'm sorry that this happened to you. This is a really, really horrible thing. We're gonna give you a little bit of compensation to to show you that we're actually sorry. We messed up. We meant to protect you, but we messed up. But we won't do that. But we're gonna make money and send it to Pakistan. The story reads: a woman who was raped and abused by at least 50 men has said she feels insulted after a compensation claim were denied by authorities. Fiona Goddard was just 14 when she was abused by a gang of Asian men in 2008 in the children's home in Bradford. It was not until 2019 that the 9 grooming gang members faced justice when they were jailed for more than 130 years. Oh, okay. But she was denied. She came asking for like, okay, cool. You guys meant to protect me. I was in children's home, meaning you guys meant to look after me. But you let that go on for years. I was impregnated. I'll give birth when I was 16 because, of course, these old men abused me. I got pregnant. I gave birth. And then my child was taken away from me as soon as I gave birth. Literally, as soon as I gave birth in the hospital, they took the kid away from her. Now, of course, Fiona Goddard is a bit older now. She's asking for a little bit of like, please, could you please just give me a little bit of compensation? No, I guess that's what the councillors and the people with authority, they say no. But of course, we can make a little bit of money and send it to Pakistan. This overstory reads £90 million to Pakistan. And the crazy thing is, we're sending £90 million to Pakistan to tackle illegal migration and child sexual exploitation. I mean, it's like these guys don't give a fuck. Like, it's like they don't care. We have these problems here. But of course, we're going to go and help another country tackle theirs. It is just insulting, folks. It's like, you can't really put it into words. Just when you think like, all right, maybe, then they've seen us protesting. Maybe they're going to realize that we're all like, we're all pissed and stuff. They maybe going to do a little bit thing. Maybe they're going to do something that will show us they care. But no, then they pull something like this off. Listen to this, folks.
Problem with child sex exploitation. I feel very sorry for the victims of that, the kids over there in Pakistan. But wouldn't the £19 million, can't they deal with their own problems? And that £19 million should be going towards the victims of child exploitation here, towards getting to grips with this ongoing scandal.
Absolutely. I mean, like you say, the girls and potentially boys over in Pakistan, you really do hope that they get the justice. But I think it's an absolute storm at the minute that our country can't even sort its own children out. 19 million, yet the girls that resigned from the panel, including myself, we've not heard a word from Keir Starmer, and we asked to meet him last week. Why can't you meet the girls in your own country, but you're happy to send 19 million to another? Exactly. There's victims and survivors in this country, and what was it, approximately 250,000? It needs to stop, and it needs to, honestly, it's frustrated me today.
Yeah, and how are you feeling about this? Because there still seems to be, we all know it's going on. Talk to any copper, talk to any sort of local social worker, local politician. Everybody knows this is still happening, particularly here in London. And yet, once again, we see the authorities, you must be noticing this, and it must be like a kind of horrible deja vu experience for you. The authorities seem to sort of want to stick their fingers in their ears and cover their eyes and act like it's not happening. We're not getting to grips with this, are we?
No, I think we're so used to it. We've watched it unfold for years and years where they've not been interested, but I kind of look at it now and I hope that the country is looking at what's being done in front of us. I hope that now the people of our country can realise what we've had to endure, not just from our abuse, but from authorities, services, because they've never ever succeeded in supporting us. They're only supporting us lately a lot because there's pressure on them. They have to support us. There's been mass pressure. I think it's disgusting.
And you said just now, early, that you tried to get in touch with Keir Starmer last week. You tried to organise a meeting with him. Presumably, that was for you to try, maybe with your friend Fiona that we met last week, to try to sort out or work out with Starmer exactly what's going on with this public inquiry that never seems to happen, that tried to change the remit so that they didn't point the finger at the kind of guys who persecuted you. We're talking about Muslim men of Pakistani heritage. The government doesn't really want to sort of make those kind of people look bad. So was that why you wanted to see Starmer, to find out what's happening?
Yeah, we asked to meet up with him. One, for exactly the reasons that you've just said. Two, because he has met with all high-profile cases like the post office, the contaminated blood. Why can't he put 5 minutes of time into people that have been gang raped and tortured in his country? And I say that lightly.
You don't say that lightly, I don't think. And have you heard back from him? Did he respond? What's happened?
No, he's not responded. He gave us a very half-hearted letter when we first sent the first one out. After asking to meet with him, I asked other people today that had resigned from the panel if they've heard anything, and nobody's heard a thing. So this is now, what, a week?
Yeah. He won't have time for you, I guess. He always have time for others. Always happen to have time for others. Always ready to help anybody who needs overseas, I guess. Always ready to send whatever we have left that we can call something that we can use, something that we can protect. Always ready to send it somewhere else. Why do we need this? We don't need to fix our homes. Send it to Pakistan. They need it more than us, I guess. This is terrifying, folks, and this is becoming the new normal now, where this is what they do. They promise you this, and they turn around and go do the other thing. And then we protest, we cry, we scream. We look for some form of like acknowledgement, like, please just acknowledge that you hurt us. Like, please just acknowledge that you're messing up. So then we can feel a little bit heard. We can feel, no, you don't even have to assure us. Just acknowledge that you can see us. Just let us know. Just say, I heard you. That's it. And then we can go home thinking, maybe it's hard my work today. Maybe something might change. Look how many places, the area of places that this took place. But no, most of these places won't get a national inquiry. They won't get a local inquiry. Most of these places won't get a local inquiry. But Pakistan will get the 19 million, and then they'll spend it however way they want. What they say is for children, and they say it's to protect their children from grooming gang in Pakistan, and also to tackle illegal migration. Well, I hope that's what it is, for sure. I hope that's what it is. I really do hope that's exactly what it is. If not, then I don't know. I honestly don't know. All right, folks. Again, I told you there's a lot more stories that we're going to cover. There is way more stories we're going to cover. Look at this. Look at that. Look at how many stories we're going to cover. We just covered number 1. All right, number 2. 6 ISIS brides have been secretly being brought to Britain. I mean, I've been following this story quite close. I mean, a lot of it's coming to light now. People are talking about it, but this story has been going on for time now. You know, people are just getting to know about this. But this has been happening for a while now, folks. So let's talk about it. 6 ISIS bride. Yeah, 6 ISIS brides. Girls who flew to ISIS or flew to Iraq or somewhere. They met with people. They met with these young adolescent men who was ready to go and start fighting the Americans and fight the British troops and just do jihad. They flew over there to marry this and, befriend them and have intimate relationship with them and become basically their wives. Yeah, wives, brides, right? They became their wives. Stay at home, make food for them, and also somehow, have some inside information, whatever they did to contribute to the jihad, whatever they thought they were doing to go and contribute to the holy war over there in 2000 and from 2011 to onward. But hey, Britain wants them back, apparently. We want them back. We want them to become our neighbors. We want them to become our countrywomen. We want them to become our, basically our the citizens. Yeah, we want them back. We want them back, and we assume they're going to be as normal as they were before they took that plane. Listen to this, folks. I'm glad this thing is coming up now because a lot of people ignore this.
Secretly sneaking ISIS brides back into Britain for years. 6 women linked to Islamic State, held alongside Shamima Begum, have been quietly brought back to the UK. That is according to the director of a camp that holds these jihadi brides. Now, before any bleeding heart liberals pipe up and say, oh, these poor women are victims, can I just remind you of the fact that Shamima Begum knew exactly what ISIS were doing when she travelled over there to join a genocidal Islamic death cult. Here she is, speaking to the media back in 2019.
Did you know what Islamic State were doing when you left for Syria? Because they had beheaded people, there were executions.
Yeah, I knew about those things and I was okay with it.
What the fuck?
Bingo. There you go. Women can be just as radical or even more radical than men. A report by the Henry Jackson Society in 2019 found Muslim girls were more active when it came to seeking out extremist material online. And let me introduce this monster. This is Sally Ann Jones, OK? Known as the White Widow. She was born in Greenwich, married a jihadi, wanted to recruit an army of Islamist women. She was behind a plot to assassinate the late Queen and Prince Philip. She used social media to tell people how to make homemade bombs. In 2016, she issued specific calls for Muslim women to launch terrorist attacks in London, Glasgow and Cardiff during the month of Ramadan. It is dangerously naive to say that women cannot be as bad as the men when it comes to jihad. And we've reportedly let some of these ISIS brides back into Britain. Shocking. We've apparently allowed hundreds of actual ISIS fighters to come back to Britain as well. In fact, more than 400 of them. Here's Sadiq Khan being grilled about it shortly after the London Bridge terror attack.
How many of those 400 have come back to London?
The estimate is just over half. It's one of the reasons why it doesn't make sense for the government to be cutting resources from those...
Where are they? You're the mayor of this capital city. Where are they?
I can't follow 400 people. What I can do is make sure with the policies, because what we can do though is make sure that the resources for the police and the experts to follow...
Or you just couldn't let the jihadis in. You know, that is an option, isn't it? I mean, the fact that previous governments appear to have been sneaking ISIS brides back into Britain could be used by Shamima Begum's lawyers. Begum is taking her case to the ECHR. They're going to take one look at this and, mark my words, she'll be back in Britain before you can say Allahu Akbar. This is just like the Afghan resettlement scheme all over again. Around 40,000 Afghans were secretly brought to Britain at a cost of billions of pounds after successive governments tried to cover up the fact that there'd been a data breach that supposedly left them at the mercy of the Taliban. But they bungled it. They imported criminals and people who've been referred to the terrorism watch list. The Telegraph reported that, shock horror, some of these blokes might actually be linked to the Taliban. Who could have seen that coming? What are our leaders doing to us? And I need to remind you that you weren't allowed to know about the ISIS brides or the Afghans.
That's right.
I think they never wanted you to find out the truth.
Exactly.
I think they are willing to put you and your family at risk to hide it from you. You have every right to be very angry about that.
This is what's taking place, folks. This is exactly what's happening in the UK, man. They hide. They do very secret deals. And the next thing you know, you realize, hey, there's a lot of people here. Yeah, there's a lot of people because a lot of them have been coming in. Secret. They black out the media. The media couldn't talk about this for over what? How long? For over 2 years. They couldn't say anything. And guess who did this? Oh, guess who did this, folks? Robert Jenrick was in charge of it. And Robert Jenrick was a big campaigner for it. Robert Jenrick was out there taking pictures with newly Afghan in their new house, trying to tell the public, hey, look at your new neighbors. We brought them at night using the military, using the Air Force, using some sites. We make sure we also fired people who seen us working to bring these guys in. We fired some people who worked at the airport to make sure nobody got to know about this. We did it at night. Yes, we used the military aircrafts to bring them in from Afghan. In 2022, we brought over 24,000 Afghanis. That's Robert Jenrick there. He's boasting about it, he's happy about it, he's bubbly type of attitude around it. And today, he's out there saying, Britain is broken. And people are like, yay, thank you so much. I mean, are we this stupid? I mean, sometimes I feel like we are kind of like a little bit stupid, retarded, put it together and shit. Because these politicians will literally lie to us. They will mess it up. And then they'll change their brand. And then they say, hey, Britain is broken and I'll fix it. And everybody's like, vote him. Even though he had a chance and he fucked it up. And I'm talking about the people who have deflected to reform now. The Suella Braverman, the Naveed, all these Tories. It's basically the same party now. Same people who fucked it, and the same people who were with Boris Johnson are the same people now with Nigel Farage. And we just hope that it's different this time. Yeah. So a jihadi bride will soon be here in Britain. 6 more have arrived. That is just 6 that the government have allowed us to get to know. So it could be more. As you already know, these guys, they're not going to tell us. By the way, this is a picture that was taken in Gatwick Airport, February 2015. Shamima Begum, her friend Namira Habas, Khadija Sultan, and of course Shamima Begum. Those 3 girls, they packed well. They packed light, I guess. They gave up on life here in Britain. That's why they packed light. Imagine you're traveling the whole, like you're going far away from your house and all you're packing is one suit, one duffel bag. That means everything else, you just left it behind. I'm tired of changing life. I don't need all this. I'm not going to pack. They packed so light because they were like ready to go and have a new wardrobe over there, have a new setting over there. So they didn't have to carry a lot, right? These 3 young girls, February 2015, they tuck it in. And they, this picture right here is in Gatwick Airport. And now somehow they're turning around telling us, hey, I don't know what I did. I made a mistake. I thought he loved me. Really? You did? And you traveled that far? You couldn't find another guy in the UK that would love you the same? Or even more? But you wanted to go in a camp? You like bad boys? You wanted them to actually hold a gun and shoot others? So you had to travel that way? That far? I don't know what I can say, folks. I'm not sure what I can say here, but I know a lot of people want to say, hey, she was young. I mean, a lot of people were young at that time too. I was young at that time. 2015, how old was I? I was probably in year 9. Yeah, I was in year 9, yeah. I was chilling. I was young. A lot of you guys were young, but I don't think none of you guys thought like, hey, how about I'll go to Syria? No, I don't think you guys did. I don't think any of you guys had any of those thoughts. But she did. And now she's lecturing us on how mean we are in not taking her in. I'm sorry, folks. You can stay there. You can freaking stay there, folks. It's crazy. All right, cool. A quick little background, because you might be thinking, hey, Barack, why are we talking about this now? Why is Shamima Begum a story? The reason why we're talking about this is because, of course, as you already know, in Syria, there is a big fight. That's why you can see the Syrians and the Kurds are fighting each other in the UK. You've seen that. I've been reporting all the time about it. So over there's a fight, and the place where this detention or this camp used to be, this camp was huge. A camp sometimes it used to host a lot of people. This camp used to host sometimes up to 80,000 people at once. This camp used to host a lot of people. But now, as you already know, ISIS, I'll say Abu Muhammad al-Julani, the Syrian, the terrorist who turned to be a president now, who Donald Trump and Joe Biden and David Lammy made him a president or the leader of Syria, the terrorist. Yeah, I have to say it because he was. I'm sorry, you can't just put a suit on and everybody have to accept you as a normal guy. No, you were a terrorist. You killed a lot of people. You had a bounty head on your head. But the Western leaders, as always, they always want whoever they can control. Hence the reason why they had Saddam Hussein in Iraq. Yes, we helped him. Hence the reason why they helped all these guys that they later on went to topple because mass weapons of destruction or war on terror, whatever shit. Okay, cool. We put a terrorist in Syria. Now this terrorist, Abu Muhammad al-Julani, he wants to own Syria. He wants to basically all those little places that had their own self-governing. As you already know, Syria has been going on through a battle of like different sort of group having their own little community there and ruling themselves. There's so many of them. So of course, this ISIS, this terrorist Abu Muhammad al-Julani, now the president, wants to own the whole thing, wants to basically take charge of the whole thing. And of course, he wants to control the camp, and the camp is controlled by Syrian Democratic Forces. And of course, Syrian Democratic Forces are the Kurds. It's ruled and controlled by the Kurds, that camp. I think that's the name, but if I don't get the name right, don't quote me on that, but that's the name. That camp is controlled by the Kurds. So that's why the Syrian and the Kurds are having it. And that's why you can see the conflict in the UK as well. Because, of course, I mean, hey, we want some fight here too, all right? Don't keep it in the Middle East. We like some fight here. We like some drama, all right? We want them here. So they're fighting here as well. Now, of course, because he wants the camp, this Al-Roger camp, he wants the camp. He wants to control the whole land. He wants to basically have autonomy over the whole thing. And the Kurds are fighting back. And that's why that camp is becoming very dangerous to be in. And that's why a lot of people are looking to go somewhere else. And the case are trying to, they're trying to get their case heard. Because now the camp will basically be destroyed. Girls are getting killed. A lot of girls have run away. A lot of people who were living in the camp have run away. It once used to house up to 90,000, 80,000 people, but today there's around like 24,000 people. So you can tell a lot of people have started figuring out where they're going because, of course, there's a big conflict now over there. Hence why you see the Kurds and the Syrians fighting each other here in the UK because, of course, at home they're fighting each other there too. That's why we're here today. That's why we're in this mess. And it's not going to stop anytime soon. It's not going to stop anytime soon. But yeah, it's important that you know. A lot of brides are coming back with their kids, of course. With their kids. All right, cool. Whew, that story needed to be out, folks. Let's talk about this new story. France has arrested 2 Brits for inciting hatred after they tried to take part in a banned anti-migrant protest. Yeah, folks. I don't know if this is the Operation Overlord. Actually, it is. It is. I'm gonna try to read out this document. Man. Wow. France arrests 2 Brits for inciting hatred after they tried to take part in a banned anti-migrant protest near Calais. 2 British nationals who came to France to allegedly take part in a banned protest against migrants were arrested and taken into custody for inciting hatred. 2 men who were broadcasting live videos and were arrested near the north town of Calais on Sunday evening at past the Calais. Let me say it like Macron, past the Calais. Did I say that right? I think I said that right. Said the pairs were placed. The two of those guys were placed in custody for inciting hatred and participating in a group with aim to preparing violent. What the heck? Okay, this is what they say. I don't think they were preparing for violence, but I don't know. I spoke to Danny himself. I don't think they were preparing for violence. Should I call Danny Tomo right now? Should I call him and ask if that's what happened? I don't think they were preparing for going to violence. They were preparing to go into protest. I can say that myself because I actually spoke to Danny. The source. Yeah, he's my source, okay? The main source. They were not going to prepare for violence. But of course, this media outlet says, what Daily Mail says, that the group was arrested because they were preparing for violence, and based on comments made on social media, and the public prosecutor said, let's carry on. This comes as French authorities stepped up action against British activists who make anti-migrant videos after local groups complained of intimidation. Okay. They had a lot of people who turned up to stop Danny Tomo's Operation Overload. They did every single thing possible to stop Danny Tomo from going there, and they even brought the French version of MI5. They brought so many police, so many of their I would say Secret Service type of defense. They brought the police, the normal police. They brought their own version of MI5, and they also brought the domestic version of like FBI type. I don't know. So they brought every single person that they have that protects them, apart from the army, right? Maybe they did. Yeah, I think they also brought the army. They brought all these people only to go to watch Danny Tomo and the boys sing some songs at the beach. That's exactly what happened. Danny Tomo went with the boys and basically they sang some song at the beach. That's what they went to do, and wave the flag. So they didn't go there for violence. But the French police or the French authorities brought all their people, brought all the Secret Service, the French version of MI5, the army. I mean, so many services. They brought them there only to watch this guy protest, and they happened to arrest 2 people. And after doing a couple of research, these are the 2 people who were arrested. These are allegedly arrested. I think so. According to the research that the team and I did, this is the 2 people who were arrested. If I got the wrong picture, let me know. If I got the wrong picture, let me know. But these are the 2 people who they said they arrested. Now, police in France have imposed a sweeping ban on gathering between Calais and Dunkirk, and threatening to arrest and deport anyone arriving from the UK. Oh my God, these guys don't. I mean, the hypocrisy here is crazy. Like, so anybody who goes to Dunkirk or Calais from now till Wednesday will get deported if you're from the UK, because they're gonna just suspect that you're there to protest. That they're gonna suspect that you have a flag in your pocket, and they're gonna deport you instantly from now till Wednesday. The ban was set to be lifted at 8 a.m. Monday, but has now been extended till Wednesday. So they said, no public gathering in this area. It doesn't matter if we find, even if you're just walking around, but if we get to know that you are there and you're from the UK, we're gonna deport you. I mean, think of the hypocrisy here, folks. Think of the hypocrisy. People who pay their way to go to France contribute to the economy in a little sense that they can. meaning they can buy a little drink in a corner shop along the way to the beach, or maybe they're going to pay for the bus, maybe they're going to get a taxi, maybe it's some way that contributes to the economy, and they pay to get there. Yeah, we're going to deport you. But in the UK, we can let France open up. We can basically let France leave the beach open, have the boats ready to go, and these migrants can get in and come to the UK, and we can't even deport anybody. And yeah, we do 1 in, 1 out, but it's basically like a Dublin agreement. It doesn't work. It's not been working. But somehow we think it might work one day. But it's not working. But here's some videos from a news outlet that reported this. I don't know if I should play it, but should we play this news? Sometimes I don't like using the mainstream media as like a source. I think I have a better source. I have a better way of saying it. Because they lie a lot. But let's listen to this, folks. This is the only one that we have.
2 British vigilantes have been arrested in France over anti-migrant action in Calais. Authorities say they made discriminatory remarks during a live stream and were part of plans to stop migrants crossing the channel. The men were detained on Sunday and will be deported back to the UK, with French officials citing public order concerns. And the arrests come after a ban on anti-migrant demonstrations in northern France, which is now extended to Wednesday. French police have not released their identities and the investigation continues.
Okay, she said 2 vigilantes. Does she even know what vigilante is? I mean, going on protest is not a vigilante, folks. I'm telling you. They're not doing some Batman stuff. They're not out there doing some... They're not out there going and putting a knife in a dinghy. That's not their plan. Because they can't do that. Because that's going to result in people dying. Especially if it's on the sea. Especially if they're taking off. They can't do that because that'll be, them destroying somebody else's property. They can be fined or they can be jailed, whatever. But they were going there to protest. I think you guys have seen by the picture they were going there to protest. Look at this. Look at this, folks. They were going there to protest. This is in Dover right now. The boys turned up in Dover. And the boys, of course, went all the way to France. There was just a handful of them, maybe 10, 15, made it to France and they protest. And the whole point that Danny Tomo told me is just to make it like a regular thing where they turn up and protest, Nothing violent, not like kicking out, not to have a fight, not to do anything, but just to go and protest. So then instead of protesting here, they can protest over there. So then the French police can feel like, man, why do we have to do this? Let's just stop them from taking... Let's just stop the migrants from making that journey. And then they're going to have to... Basically, they're going to be forced to act in a way where the protesters are demanding. Because we protest here and we don't see anything. So now we're taking it to France. That's what Danny Tomo's mission was. Picture that you're seeing right now is at the entrance of Dover, the dock, and this was taken on Saturday. And then of course the boys were in France and they were there for a couple of hours, they protested for a couple of hours and they came back. And of course, new report, and this report here is basically 2 guys were arrested. I don't know what they did, but the report says for inciting hatred. And that could be interpreted in so many ways. It could be that they had a flag, maybe, because that nowadays that's hatred, I guess. So it could be interpreted in so many ways. We don't know. Apparently, they will be deported back to the UK, and of course, once they are deported, then we'll get to know who they were, who these guys are, because I'm sure these guys will speak. I'm sure these guys will talk, and then we'll get to know what happened to them. What did they do? And if it's bad, if what they did was bad, then they won't just be deported, but they'll be sent here and go through the court. And if they're going to be jailed or anything, we'll get to know what they actually did. But yeah, this is what's happening in France. The boys, 2 guys, I believe this is the picture of them. They say this is the picture. I believe these are two guys, right? Hey, chat, what do you guys think? Are these two guys? I'm sure two guys, right? Because I think... Yeah, these are two guys. Okay, yeah, this is two guys, folks. All right. I was thinking the other one's a girl, but I think these are two guys, all right? Comment down below. What do you guys think? Can we get a poll over there? Two guys. Yeah, I think two guys. Comment down below. What do you think? Two guys? Or maybe a guy and a girl. But it says two bricks. But I'm saying two guys. So maybe it could be a girl and a boy. But yeah, these are the alleged guys. So I'm not sure. Maybe I got the wrong picture. All right, maybe I got the wrong picture. But this is what they're saying. These two bricks were arrested in Dover. In Calais, France. All right. This is crazy, folks. See, it looks like the French police can work. It looks like they can do stuff, right? It looks like they can actually get things done. But they don't know. Sometimes they don't know who to arrest, I guess. This, they look at the flag, they're like, arrest him. He's not going to Britain. He's coming here. And those guys who are ready to take to jump in a dinghy and come to Britain, yeah, don't arrest them. Let them go. According to the French police, I guess. According to the French police. All right, folks. Let's get into another story, folks. I mean, we got so many stories. We're going to go back and forth today. We're going to go back and forth. I'm feeling good. It is, of course, Tuesday, 27th January 2026. I mean, everybody needs to, aren't you feeling good? I'm feeling great. Yeah, so we got a lot of stories. So let's cover another one. This one, number 4. The next two stories are basically the same. Number 4, number 5 are basically the same, but it's actually it's just that the 15-minute stay is in Glasgow, Scotland, and number 5, 15-minute stay is in Glasgow. That story, that's something that's operating there. That's something is starting there. And number 4, the largest nationwide rollout of AI facial recognition technology. I think we need to talk about this, folks. We have to talk about this. Shabana Mahmood, I don't know what this lady is doing. I don't know what's going on, but there's a big problem here. This AI facial recognition technology, I'm not sure why they're doing this. Okay, I get your pitch. I understand what you're trying to do. You tell us, oh, we're gonna reduce the policing, and everybody's frightened, everybody's scared, because everybody's like, hey, why would you reduce the police? We want them in the street. Look, aren't you not seeing the people who are being killed, the people who are being stabbed? Aren't you not seeing the rape, the stuff that's taking place in our street? Aren't you not seeing? So everybody will react, right? So she just created a problem out of nowhere. Oh, we're gonna remove the police in the street, and everybody's like, oh no, don't do that. And then she's like, we're gonna replace them with AI, and she expects all of us to be like, yay, thank you so much. Listen to this pitch, folks. I don't know who's trying to do this. We're gonna see if we can figure it out today, but listen to this, folks.
This will include the largest ever rollout of live facial recognition technologies across England and Wales. We know this approach works. In London, in just 2 years, the Metropolitan Police have made 1,700 arrests, taking robbers, domestic abusers, and rapists off our streets. When the future arrives, there are always doubters. 100 years ago, fingerprinting was decried as curtailing our civil liberties. But today, we could not imagine policing without it. I have no doubt the same will prove true of facial recognition technology in the years to come. At the same time, we will launch Police.ai, investing a record £115 million in AI and automation to make policing more effective and efficient, stripping admin away to ensure officer time can be devoted to the human factor that only a police officer can provide.
Yeah, we're going to replace police officers with robots. How does that look like, everybody? And she expects all of us to like, yay, thank you so much. The AI is going to do the policing for us. Okay. And she told us, and Keith Starmer told us that the Face ID, the BRICS card, doesn't exist anymore. And everybody's like, yeah, we won. But then I did my own research and I figured out the AI technology, the BRICS card, still goes on. It's still going on. Do you even know how many companies have signed up with the government? How many contracts have been given out for BRICS card? Multiple companies, including Palantir Technology, Circle, all these technologies, especially these American technology. I'm sorry. I'm always frightened with American technology because all they want is more control, more surveillance. They just want slaves in their system. They want you to be hooked or they want you to be controlled by it. Look how their food is like. Respect to the Americans, but your technology is like, your businesses are like, the big ones are like, bro, what the fuck? So we got the BRICS card is still going on. So now if we get this policing thing, and then they put these cameras everywhere on vans, on our street, around the country, what do you think that does? That collects data. Yes, it collects data, it collects information, huge information, big data. And that, of course, will probably be managed and stored by Oracle technology. Oracle will probably store the data. As we already know, the reason why flipping Birmingham City Council had to file for bankruptcy is because they couldn't pay, they couldn't manage the data that they were getting from Oracle. Sorry, I keep saying it wrong. Oracle. They didn't know how to manage Oracle, and I'm sure they probably figured it out. But Oracle's still in the UK, and they are still getting the contract. And guess what? They've got some contract with the BRICS card. Somebody needs to manage the data, and it always goes to the private companies. It always goes to the private company, and then they'll have every single person's every single person is face in this system. They'll know where you live. They know what you do. They'll know everything, your movement, everything, and then they can surveil and control. Because I mean, they're just policing, right? I mean, yeah, they remove the humans and they put the cameras there, and the cameras will just look, trace, look, store data, look, trace, look, store data, and they will just do anything. You want to know why? As soon as the protests end, next day in the morning, the police knocks on your door and you're thinking, hey, how do you know I live here? How did you stop me yesterday? Was I drunk and I gave you my address by accident? This is what it is. Have you noticed every single protest, there's a camera there? The police officer is recording every single person's face and you can't hide your face. But they won't have to carry that anymore. There will be cameras everywhere, policing everybody, anytime. So you are always guilty. That's what this basically is. You are always guilty, and we need to make sure we have cameras operating 24 hours to check on you. So you can prove to us how innocent you are. That's basically what this is. It's just them pitching to us, telling us, hey, look, we want to remove the police officers from the street. By the way, that's detrimental. That's really bad. Because we want to be policed by human beings, not AI. We don't even want to be policed, to be fair. We want police to just follow the law. That's different than just policing us and stuff. That's kind of crazy. We don't want AI to be seen and be like, oh yeah, wrong guy. Oh yeah, this person. No, we don't want that. Because you know what happens? All this information is connected to every single data, to every single thing that they have. I don't know if you know, but Palantir Technology is working with the NHS. The NHS is the biggest data store manager. I mean, look, they have every single person's information in the UK. As soon as you're born, the NHS has your name and every single thing. As soon as you're born, you're registered to it. As soon as you come to the UK to visit, you're registered with the NHS. They store a lot of data, and guess who's managing the data for them? It's Palantir Technology. And who the fuck is that? Why? Well, if you don't know Palantir Technology, then you gotta start looking into Ukraine and stuff. You gotta look into what they've done with this big, beautiful bill in the United States with Palantir Technology and all these AI tech nuts. With the Elon Musk of today, which Elon Musk has been able to penetrate the right and has made his name in the right. He has made his name. He has made a lot of friends in the right where we can't even criticize him anymore, but he's making so much money collecting every single person's information by all this AI machine that he's pushing. But I don't want to diverge from this. I don't want to go too far. But this is dangerous, folks. This is dangerous. It gets to the point where I have to agree with Jeremy Corbyn. That's how dangerous it is. I agree with Jeremy Corbyn. You understand how dangerous this is? Jeremy Corbyn, I am very concerned by the government's mass rollout of facial recognition technology. I agree, Jeremy Corbyn. Hold my hand. Let's go out there and protest. I don't mind holding the banner with you, Jeremy Corbyn. I agree. This is a grave threat to privacy and turns the presumption of innocence on its head. What did I say? We are always guilty now. If we have all these technology watching us, no privacy, we just watching you because we know you're guilty. We know you're going to do something and we are ready to arrest you. We're ready to fine you. We're ready to send a letter to your house so you can pay a fine because we've been watching you. Oh, you did something wrong. We was there. We were watching you because you are just a little innocent bastard, right? That's basically what this is. And I agree with Jeremy Corbyn. He carries on in his tweet, the short tweet. We are hurtling towards a mass surveillance state. It must be opposed. Yes, we have to oppose this with every single energy we have left. The moment they get this, it's too late. It's done. The moment they get this through, it's done. So they're trying to they're trying to pitch us like it's a good idea. Notice how she said. Notice how she said. Sorry, I'm trying to my posture here, guys. Come on. Hey, what's wrong with this chair? I don't know. My back is somehow hurting on this chair. What's going on, man? What's going on? Notice how Shabana Mahmood said, back in the days when we brought fingerprinting with the police, a lot of you guys were very skeptic about it. But look at how how important fingerprint really is with the police. We can't do anything without fingerprint with the police. Wow. So I assume, I am confident that this facial recognition technology in the next few years from now, it will be just as important as fingerprints. Do you notice? Hey, when we brought this here, you guys were skeptic. You guys are skeptic today. But this is going to be the most important thing of... Come on. It's the freaking same thing. They're all lying. They're trying to get this through and it benefits their donor. They get multiple of... All right, let me lay this something down. I might get in trouble for this. I might get in trouble for this, folks. All right. Okay. So let's talk. So we did a little bit of digging. Just a little bit. It took us a couple of weeks, couple of days. Yeah. But it was a little bit of digging. I'm sure if we did a whole month or two, we would have found more. There was a big donation that Labour Party received. This big donation came from a venture capital in Canaan Island. Very late of the election. Very freaking late. It was received in July 31st. It's a big donation, £4 million donation. And of course, as you already know, the election was June 4th, June 5th. Where that's where the winner will be announced and everything will be done. But this donation came just literally 5 days before. And that's too late because they have to, because then they're going to have to tell us who donated to them a month later. And then we would know about it after they won. The £4 million donation came through. They won. And then, of course, they had to tell us who donated, as they have to tell us who donated to them, as all the party always have to disclose the donation. But when it's a late donation, you can't disclose them till everything's done, right? You don't disclose it straight away as soon as you get it. You disclose it a couple of days or a couple of weeks later. That's how you get to know who has donated to who, if they didn't announce it themselves. So we got to know. We did a little research and we figured out which company this was. Okay, then we got to know this company. Then we got to know what this company does and where it invests its money. It's a venture capital, so you invest money on different businesses. And there was 2 businesses that invest almost 70% of his investment goes to. And that business was Palantir Technology. And now, when we've seen this AI push, this mass of like collecting data and somebody has to store it, guess who's gonna get the contract? It's almost going to be Palantir Technology. It's almost, they are basically destined to take control of our data. And then of course we got to know that the NHS has signed a 400 million contract with Palantir Technology. Meaning that you and I, every single time when we go to the NHS and somehow we have to fill up a form or we have to fill up my head is hurting. All right, somehow they put in the system, blah, blah, blah. Guess who's storing that data? It's freaking Palantir Technology. And I think that contract will probably be extended for maybe, they're going to probably sign something like a 50 years contract. I'm not sure. Or maybe, they signed for 5 years. I get it. Maybe the next party might come in and scrap it. But it looks like that won't happen. So that'll be extended. Now, and you're probably thinking, Barak, how important is this? It's freaking important because the venture capital that invested to Palantir Technology, if Palantir Technology gets government contracts, they make money. They make money because that business now has business in the UK. The business that they it's investment, bro. You invest into a business that they're going to bring some return. And of course, the Labour Party is going to pull its strings so the donors can get some return. And we're seeing the same thing in Reform UK as well. They are receiving the big money too. Do you know who paid for Nigel Farage's trip to Davos? Do you know who paid for that? Was a venture capital. I mean, oh God. I mean, we can go. Bro, they're all the same. Some of you guys like Reform, but of course, I'm here to tell the truth. So I'm not here to be a mouthpiece for any party. If I see any wrongdoing, I'm going to say it out loud. Reform UK is not different. They are all, these venture capitals, these big elites, they know. They see Nigel Farage, they see the Labour Party, they see the Conservative, they make their bets where they know they're going to get some return. Donating to the flipping some silly pie somewhere makes no return. Or maybe locally, yes, if they become a councillor or something. But when it comes now, national-wise, when you look at Reform, it makes sense to donate to them. And that's what the big businesses have been doing. They're diversifying. They're not specifying now, they're diversifying. And they're donating here and here and here. And trying to see who's going to win. And whichever one seems like might win, then they're specifying to that. And they're all the same. And now we've seen this push for AI. Now we've seen this push for, facial recognition technology. Who's going to store the data? Because if it's Palantir Technology, they're doing this to please their donor. That's it. I'm going to rest my case. I don't want to drag this too long. I see one guy said, Barak, it's too late. I don't know. We can keep fighting. We can keep fighting, bro. We can keep on going. We can keep on fighting. But Let's move on to, I think... Let's move on to the next story, folks. All right. Number 5, 50-minute city. Oh, globalist control is here. It's here. It's happening. 15-minute city is here. It's no longer a theory. It's no longer just a video promotion, some AI video promotion. No. It's happening in real life now. The construction time is over. Now it looks like it's time to implement the plan. Now it's time to fortify their power, to enslave the people. It's here. And it looks like Glasgow City Council have approved it. Yeah, they have approved it. Glasgow City Council approved 15-minute city plan. It's horrific, folks. It's freaking scary, folks. So when we talk about AI, we're talking about, facial recognition technology for policing. Why do you think they would need that? Facial recognition technology for policing. Why do you think they would need that? Well, they can put it in every single lamppost, and then they will know where you're going. If you maybe somehow come out your city, an area that you're not meant to be in, they will know. It will be like this, 15-minute city, and you can't come out. You're locked in. You got your corner there, you got your thing there, and maybe if you want to travel far away, you gotta maybe ask. You're gonna have to get a visa to go to Salford. You're gonna have to get a visa to go to somewhere in the area. You're gonna have to contact them and be like, hey, can I leave this town for 30 minutes? I'm going to see my cousin. And they'll be like, yeah, fire in, do this. It looks like that's what it will be. 15 minutes say you need AI for you to operate that. You need, because they can't hire hundreds of police to stand around and see who's who and remember them and stop them from going past. So of course they're going to need some form of like AI technology. And guess what? Shabana Mahmood has just said, hey, we need facial recognition technology for policing. We're going to fire a lot of policemen and women. We're going to fire them, and we're going to we're just going to deploy these system around the country. And they're going to police you, because you are always guilty, remember? And we're going to police you. And every day you have to show us how innocent you are. You have to prove to us how innocent you are. It's over around now. It's no longer innocent till proven guilty. You are guilty. You have to prove you have to prove yourself to be an innocent person. So AI, here's a camera, it's going to follow you everywhere. 50-minute city. That's basically the preparation. It's insane, folks. Look at this. Labour opens door to Stalinist 15-minute city across Britain. Now just look at that map. Can you see that map? Yeah. Almost every roadblocks and almost every interchange, almost every single traffic light will have basically a stop sign. Hey, you can't exit this path. Hey, you can't enter this path. That's somebody else's path. You got everything you need in your 15-minute city. You got your shops. You got your stuff. Why do you need to leave your 15-minute city? Before you do, contact this. That's what it will be. And by the way, this thing is being brought in. Let me read this part for you. Ministers have said that they will allow councillors to use driver's license database to impose fine on drivers who fall foul of traffic filters, which will restrict driving into certain areas. This is like, this little policy has a fetus of a devil inside of it. And it's going to grow. It's going to become a big baby, and it's going to police everyone, every single person in the UK. Here's Katie Hopkins saying it how it is, and I think it's important. She is very Sometimes she can, you know, she's a very comedic around the stuff, around important matters. She makes you laugh and you might forget how important it is. But here's Katie Hopkins. Listen to what she thinks of this. It's insane where we are, bro. This is George Orwell. Like, this is gonna make the George Orwell novel look like a little baby that wrote it, because this is gonna be some crazy stuff. This authoritarian thing where it's gonna lock us in. And we're going to do whatever Big Brother says. And he's going to watch us.
15 minutes of freedom here in the UK. So let me tell you the plan. The plan is in Oxford, and this has just been passed by the council, to divide the city here into, a bit of a squiggly city, into 6 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you will only have the freedom to operate in the part that you live. So if this is you, the idea is that everybody will live within 15 minutes of the things they need. 15 minutes of a school, 15 minutes of a doctor's, 15 minutes of a supermarket. And if you want to travel to the other zones in your city, or maybe soon your town, you will have to go out an approved route. You will have to journey around the outside of the city in order to re-enter another section of the city. This plan is supposed to be saving the planet. And the idea is that you won't simply be able to cross over into other sections of your city anymore. So if your mother, for example, lived over here, you wouldn't be able to just go across and see her. This would all be done via e-gates, electronic gates, and number plate recognition. You in your area will only be allowed within that 15-minute zone that you've been allocated. The number plate recognition will know if you leave your zone, and you can apply for permission, a permit to leave your zone and travel to another zone, but you'll only be allowed to do this about 100 times a year. This is real. I just have to stop and say that. This has actually been passed by Oxford Council. This is happening in the next 2 years, 2024 it begins. And if you use up all your 100 passes that someone designates whether you're allowed to have to go into the different zones, you'll be fined. Your number plate will be recognised. It will observe that you've gone somewhere you're not allowed in your own city, and it will fine you £100 or £80 or whatever the fine number is.
Yes, folks, this is bad. So she made this video a long time ago, but now Glasgow has basically, they've said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do it. Now here it is. Glasgow City approves new 15-minute cities plan. They approve it, done. We can get it done. And of course, I've read this before. I'm going to read it again. Ministers have said that they will allow councillors to use driver's license database to impose fines on drivers who fall foul of traffic filter. She just explained a traffic filter, which will restrict driving into certain areas. You're basically gonna need a visa to go see your mom in the same fucking country. You're gonna need to be approved. You're gonna need a permit to be approved. And anytime you can be stopped when you're driving, and they will ask you, "Hey, show me your permit. Are you allowed? Are you even? Where you from? Oh, yeah, you are 30 minutes away from your city. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go back. A letter will follow you, telling you how much you own the government." What the fuck do we say? What do we do? Okay, of course, we protest. We do. We like to protest, right? They say, hey, if you oppose the government, you go out there and protest. You go and you express your, you express your, freedom given to you to go out there and protest and show your anger to the government. And you can do that as long as you want. And of course, we do protest. We do a lot of that. Here's a little protest that took place. I don't know if Shabana Mahmood is watching, but she's probably going to laugh at this, but it's important we play. Yeah. Yes, folks. We protest. I'm not disrespecting people that protest. I think it's important to protest. But now, does it make sense to protest? It's like, how important is it to go out there and protest now when they're gonna do it anyway? Is there anything else that we have left that we can do rather than going outside and protest? Because this is what it's gonna be in the next what? In the next couple months in Glasgow, I believe. That's a little test because of course it's not as big as England and it's not as big as London to try and to. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna take long to get it done in London properly, but here's how it's gonna look like. Listen to this. This is from a little movie. It's a skit and it's funny, but it kind of shows where we're gonna be in the next in the next couple months to come. Listen to this, folks.
I'm not going to be quiet. We have to go there. You lied to us. We couldn't go there. Now we can't stay here. Now we can't go there. Where can we go? This is Canada! Canada! A free country for everyone!
That's right. Let's just say you wanted to buy some steak, right? Lovely steak. Because where I live, for me to get to Altrincham, I'm basically gonna have for me to get to Altrincham, which is the nearest place where they make a good steak. I'm gonna have to basically, if they was to impose this 15-minute stay, I'm gonna have to leave the 15-minute stay because it's like a 30 minutes drive to get there. I think even less than that. I think maybe 20 minutes, but 50 minutes. I'll be still, I'll still be out my designated area for me to get my lovely steak from Waitrose. Now, I'll be stopped there and I'll be fined and be dragged back into my 15-minute stay. Let's just say you want to see your mom. Again, the thing goes on and on. You won't be able to do it. This thing has been a big conspiracy theory. Like, it's been just a thing that you hear from somebody and you're like, all right, bro, stop lying. Stop lying. You hear this and you tell them to stop lying. Because you always think they're lying. You always think, you can't believe that somebody will want to do this. You can't believe that a government would want to do this. So you're always thinking, yeah, lying. When you listen to all these conspiracy theorists and you're like, lying. Somebody's like, oh, Macron is, boyfriend, Macron's wife has a dick. And you're like, nah, lying. I don't know where you stand with that. Let me know. Where do you guys stand with that? Or maybe somebody says, oh, chemtrails, they're weather modification. And you're like, lying. And then I'm sure in the last 5-10 years, when they told you that you're going to be living in 15-minute C, you probably said lying. But today I'm reading an article where the council has approved it. You can't really say we're lying, can you? Not to say I'm a conspiracy theorist, but you can't say this is a lie because it's them saying it. Shabana Mahmood announcing it. Shabana Mahmood saying, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to take police away and put cameras instead. And then we look at this. 15-minute C is ready to go. And then we look at this. Glasgow City Council has approved. And then we're thinking, what is actually going on? It's no longer a conspiracy now. It's happening. It's real. It's taking place. And before you know it, you're gonna be out there fighting just so you can leave your house. I mean, we had COVID lockdown. Basically, that was like more than 15 minutes. See, to be fair, we had to line up to go to Tesco to get tissue. That was. I think the whole public was made a joke. We were made fun of for sure, I have to say. But okay, this is where we are, folks. This is where we are. All right, let's do the last story. Okay, let's do the last story. It's illegal in the UK to call somebody a muppet. I didn't want to do this story. I find this story very stupid, and it's quite funny though. The fact that this is where we are. It's illegal to call somebody a muppet in the UK. This is going to be one of the shortest story I'm going to make this year. I'm just going to play you a video. Let me know what you think. Do you think these police officers mean well? Oh, I'm gonna play this video and you let me know. This is gonna be one. I'm just gonna react to it because I don't know. Like, what can we really do? We can't. This is so crazy, folks. It's insane. All right, let's play this clip, man. Let's play this.
So I've been sat around there all this time. Yet you decide to come and talk to me when I'm leaving. Okay.
Well, if you're going to bring you back to me, you're under arrest for Section 4A public order offence.
Just give us your camera. Hang on a minute.
I'll explain the circumstances.
Listen, all I'm going to say is you guys really want to do this.
Yes, we do.
Right, you're arresting me for what offence?
Section 4A public order.
Public order for what? Taking pictures? Hang on a minute. Are you body cam one? Are you recording? Can you identify yourself, please, all of you?
PCU 692. PCU 1823. 870.
Sergeant.
1823.
1823.
Yeah. Put your hands to your back then.
Is this really necessary?
At the minute, we don't know if you're carrying anything that might harm us. We don't know anything about you.
Oh, that's fair.
Can't see your face, so just out of precaution.
All right, let me just speak. That's a fair comment. I'll let you have that.
All right, yeah.
But I don't have anything what's going to harm you.
Everybody says that to us, don't they?
And I'm actually just going to go in lobby because it's a beautiful lobby. Yeah. I'm going to get some because I ain't got any stills. I'm
My
going
colleague's
to
going
take
to
some
tell you
stills
the circumstances for why you're being arrested.
Am I being arrested or being detained?
Been arrested, I've just said the caution.
Arrested?
Yeah.
Well, what have I done wrong?
You wear the caution for public order. Do you know the caution again, or are you?
Well, what have I done? Tell me what I've done.
There's been a member of the public who you've apparently been shouting at and calling him a muppet.
Right, a muppet, yeah, and?
You caused him alarm and distress. She's very upset about
it. Well, I'm gonna be straight with you guys now. Right?
You're under caution.
I can feel you shaking. I can feel you shaking. Calm down. Calm down. You are shaking.
Right, you've got your rights.
I'm going to tell you now. Calling somebody a muppet.
Before you go in there, I'm just going to turn your camera off.
Calling somebody a muppet does not come on.
Of course, they turned this camera off because, of course, they didn't want us to see this. But calling somebody a muppet can land you in jail, folks. I don't think the British public is this weak to think that calling somebody a muppet can cause, distress and alarm, and somebody has to be punished by imprisonment. I don't think we're that weak. I'm sorry, I don't think we're that weak. I think this is just a way for them to police every single person's speech. This is a way to I mean, when I was in, if you listen to my conversation, me and the boys, and the words that we use to address each other, the things that we say to each other, you'd be like, these guys hate each other, man. The way they call each other names and back and forth, all these terms. And when you look at how racist we are to each other, you'd be like, no way. This guy deserves to be in prison with El Chapo or something. Because if they think calling somebody a muppet can land you in jail or you should be arrested for it, man, I don't know, folks. This is crazy. It's insane. I don't think we're that weak, folks. So calling somebody a muppet can cause them distress and alarm, and that makes that a crime, and that can land you in jail. Yeah, it's just a quick way for them to police your speech, to basically stop you saying what you think, voicing your opinion, and also insulting somebody. I think insulting people should be normal. It should be normal to insult somebody and walk away, and they go home insulted. Yes, they should. It's normal. It's fine. We're not raising babies here. We're not raising even a baby. A baby insults people all the time. Have you noticed how rude a baby really is? When a baby sees you fat, they call you fat. Because they tell the truth. They see how it is. When a baby sees you doing things and they can somehow put in some words, they'll say it how it is. Are we gonna police the babies now? Like, oh yeah, he makes comments on people. A baby, when the baby sees a disabled person, let's say a person with amputated legs, the baby says it how it is. It might be offensive, but does that mean we're gonna be arresting babies? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. We're gonna have to police every single person's speech. But calling somebody a muppet now is a big problem, folks. So bear in mind when you're speaking to somebody. I'm trying to warn you, folks. Don't call somebody a muppet. You might be in jail. You might be in prison for that. So maybe call them a bad person, yes. But that also, they can also feel distress and alarm though, if you call them a bad person. What if you call them a dickhead? I mean, oh man, no. That could be 10 years in prison. Oh, what can you really call somebody then? If a muppet is really bad, what can you? I consider a muppet like a good word. To be fair, I don't even call somebody a muppet. I think that's not even touching the surface. I think calling a muppet is like. I mean, I know you guys. You know me, guys. You know when we try to offend somebody, calling somebody a muppet is like, that's not in your lexicon. That doesn't hit your lexicon. You have way more words. Way more words that on your at your disposal that you can use. But yeah. All right, folks, that's the end of the story. All right. That's the end of the broadcast. Okay, let me see your chat. I want to engage with you guys. But what do you guys think? Do you think calling somebody a muppet is a crime? I don't think so. I don't think that's a crime. But obviously the police do so, and they can put somebody in prison. Hey, so somebody says, someone please send Trump a WhatsApp saying saying that the Muppets need help. Yeah. The Labour Party is the new Muppet show, somebody says. The government are there to control everybody. Before that, it was the church. I know where you're hitting there, folks. I know that's a hard comment, but I understand where you're coming. I understand where you're coming. The church or the government. I understand. Maybe. There's a poll that just be put up. That we just put up now. Should calling somebody a let's see this poll. Should calling somebody a muppet be a crime? Somebody said yes. Really? People are saying yes to this? Hey guys, how sensitive are we in the chat? I need to know. How sensitive are we? Somebody said yes. Calling somebody a muppet is a crime? All right, man. I don't know, bro. I'm not sure, bro. I don't know. Somebody says I like the Muppets. The police are too big for their boots. That is so funny. Have you noticed how young the police officers are getting now? Sometimes I see they're getting very young now, innit? You used to see like a big scary guy, like big police officer. You can't mess with them. But now we're seeing like. Now we're seeing more of like some people. We're seeing small little guys, and I see it as like I find it very dangerous for them because their job is serious. It's a serious job. It's a serious job to be a police officer, folks. And when you see them policing, and then when you see the criminals, and then you think, imagine that guy, the police officer, and going after that big criminal, and you're thinking, man, I feel sorry, bro. I feel sorry. What if he's alone? What if it's two of them? Have you noticed how young they are? I see like 22-year-olds, small little guys. And I'm thinking, you're gonna go and tackle somebody down? You will? All right. I'm not gonna say much, but all right, good luck with your job. But apparently they go after somebody who says a Muppet. Whoever said yes in the poll about Muppets is an original Muppet. That is true. Whoever says, oh God. Must be in the police chat. So somebody says that person touched the wrong button. Yeah. It could be that they voted yes accidentally. That they touched it accidentally. No, but I think we are becoming a little bit weak in terms of like the society. Don't you think we are? It used to be that Britain used to be a little bit way tougher than how we are today. I think the idea of Britain being tolerant is a lie. I mean, it's a lie that Britain is a tolerant country. I'm sorry. Maybe we're trying to be. Maybe we're doing that right now, but I wouldn't say Britain was a tolerant country, because when you look at what Britain did, they did every single thing possible to advance their civilization. They did every single thing possible to push their way of living forward, and that's how they advanced themselves, being a small little country, a small little island, controlling 30 to 40% of the world. I mean, you don't do that by being tolerant. You don't go to India and be tolerant and somehow get to rule over them. 1 billion people plus. You don't go to Africa and somehow conquer everybody by being tolerant. You don't go to Australia or some of all these other countries that we went to and be tolerant by controlling them and owning every single thing that they had, and putting the crown and saying this belongs to the king, this belongs to the queen. You don't do that by being tolerant. You don't go, and maybe of course the Britain, when they went to establish the colonies in America, you don't go to American in American lands and conquer the indigenous Americans and now turn it into one of the greatest countries in the world by being tolerant. You do that because you want to advance yourself forward. So this whole idea of like, yeah, we are just a tolerant country. No, we're trying to be a tolerant country. We're trying to we're trying to remove the toughness that we had back then away from myself. It's like having a tiger and removing the nails of the tigers, remove the nail from the tigers, remove the tiger's teeth. Yeah, that's when the tiger becomes tolerant, because he can't scratch you, he can't bite you, he's gonna sleep with you, all right? He's gonna sleep with you. That's what Britain really is. And that's what we've done. We've removed the teeth from the lion, we've removed the teeth from the tiger. We've taken the teeth out. We've taken the nails. We've taken it out. We're like, yeah, he's not going to scratch anybody. And now we're like, oh, he's been tolerant. No. Britain has never been a tolerant country. And I say that with looking through the history. No, not tolerant. Now, yes. Because now they can arrest you for calling somebody a muppet. Because now they're like, hey, please, inciting, he's feeling bad. You called him a muppet. Oh no, he feels sad. And, wow, no way. He's going to sleep very bad tonight. Bro, that did not exist back then. Did you see what Britain did to other countries? We went in, we put a flag. We're like, hey, it belongs to the Queen. Now you're going to sing the national anthem. Now you're going to sing Save the Queen. Now you're going to sing God Save the King. Now you're going to have our flag here. You think we went there by being tolerant, by saying, hey guys, hey Indians, look, we just want to do business with you guys. Let's just trade some spice together. No. We went there, we're like, all right, cool, we're going to serve some spice, we're going to do some trade together, but we know what we want. We're going to do some trade, then boom, a couple years later, they're under our rule. You don't do that by becoming tolerant. You don't do that. And you can't say it was accidental. It was accidental. It happened all over the world. So you can't say, oh yeah, it was accident. No. Oh yeah, they somehow got great by accident. No. All right, but I want to address something. Yeah, I want to address something. Yeah, I really want to address something while I'm here. You see me, yeah, when I do these videos, because I think maybe I'm just naive to see what's wrong in the country and just say how it is. Maybe I'm just naive that I've not picked a side. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. But when I see somebody saying something that will put the British people and the British and the country at the mercy of somebody else who we don't want, at a place where it's gonna basically cease not to exist, you know, at a place where it's gonna be in denial of its existence, I have to call it out. So be it Muslims, if some Muslims come out, some radical Islam guy comes and says some crazy stuff that will affect Britain or has affected Britain or glorify something that took place in Britain, I'm gonna call it out. I'll always do it. Same thing when I see young black men going out there and stabbing each other up. I mean, that's problem. That's young men who their parents did everything possible to come to this country to give them a life, and somehow they're out there stabbing each other up. That's a huge problem. So I'm gonna call it out, as I always do. You can check all my videos. I always do. Same thing with Christians. When I see a lot of Christians out there, somehow they call themselves Christians, but they do some evil stuff, and you're thinking, hey, unnecessary stuff. I'm gonna call it out because that's not Christ-like. That's not what living and embodying the characteristic of Jesus Christ. You know, when you go to church and you do the Holy Communion, you drink the wine. You try to basically reenact the whole body of Christ. You want to take it in. You want to drink it in. You want to do all that so you can basically be living here as him. And as a Christian, you go out there and do fucked up stuff. I'm going to call it out. The reason why I'm saying all this is because I want to address this mission. This. When I see a Jew doing some fucked up shit, best believe I'm gonna call them out too. Yes, I will fucking call them out too. Reason why I have to address this, yeah? Because I always criticize Islam. I criticize the black community. I criticize the white community as well when I see some fucked up shit. I criticize politicians, businessmen, all this thing. I mean, we don't tread careful here. We don't step on eggshells. We do it and we say it how it is, and we show it to you guys how it is. But somehow I made a video where a Jewish man was saying that whites European are the old European, but the new European are Muslims and black and people from Asian countries. He said that, and I reported that to you. There was a 4 minutes long video of him saying it, and I played it to you. But somehow I am an anti-Semite for basically showing you what the rabbi was saying. And I was thinking to myself, okay, all right, this is a big problem. I mean, what's going on here? How am I anti-Semite if I'm showing them what this guy said? Not me, him. And then so many people unsubscribe. Then of course the video did well. And then of course people seen what I was saying. A lot of people read it, listened to it, and they said, yeah, bro, this is fucked up. And then obviously it went to like -8 subscribers. Then a couple hours later it went -6, -5, -4 subscribers, then it went -2, 0 subscribers. Then it started going to plus. And now that video has done more in subscribers this week. Because people were like, hey, yo, what the fuck is this rabbi saying? So I want to let you know, guys. I have not picked a side and outside. So if you're Jewish, good. If you're Muslim and you watch us, good. If you're Christian and you watch us, good. If you're Hindu and you watch us, good. Wherever, good. For you, of course. Good for you. But if your community does something wrong to Britain, best believe you're going to come on this show and I will be reporting it. And I'll call it out however way it is. And if somehow that offends you, Good, because it's your community. You should be offended. And I pledge to you that you come on the show and show how offended you are that the fact that one guy from your community has stepped out and fucked your reputation up. That's what it should be. So I don't want to hear all this. Of course, Muslims call me Islamophobia. All right, I don't give a fuck. Now, because I criticized one rabbi, now some people are calling me anti-Semite. Now I'm thinking, okay, cool. Don't give a fuck. I've not, Christians, I think Christians are able to take criticism very well compared to these two. I think that's one thing that I'll probably give out Christians. I'll also say Hindus, Sikhs are able to, those religions are able to take criticism. We can criticize the Sikhs. We can criticize the Hindus. They take criticism very well. But the Jews and the Muslims, as soon as you criticize them, they somehow say anti-Semite. They call you anti-Semite and try to ruin your name. Same with Islamophobia. They try to ruin your name just for criticizing them. And I find that very divisive. I find it doesn't help them out. It actually destroys their cause. It actually makes it even worse. And it emboldens the actual anti-Semitism in the West. Because you're trying so hard to shut it down. And you embolden those behaviors. And I'm sorry. I'm not a mouthpiece for anyone. I have good friends with a lot of people. Jewish, Muslims, Christians. A lot of Christians for sure. Because I'm a Christian myself. A lot of Christians. A lot of non-believers. A lot of Hindus. And we do very well. And now a lot of Iranians, friends. And we do very well. And I criticize the Iranian people too. I do. I go to their protest and I ask them tough questions like, hey, bro, Reza Pahlavi had a secret police and he killed over 60,000 people in 1 year in 1978. I mean, could you tell me more about that? Because this is true. It's a factual information. He had a secret police that was built by Mossad and CIA. These are factual information. I criticize them on that side. And they, of course, they can defend it. They can go back and forth. And yeah, this is what it is to be a journalist. I don't have to suck somebody else's dick. I don't have to say, oh yeah. I don't have to wear anybody's flag. I've pledged my allegiance to Britain. I've said, hey, this is me. Take me as I come. All right? I've pledged my allegiance to Britain. I'll criticize it to make it better. Any other country, if they try to destroy what Britain is and what it used to be, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go through me as well. But yeah, okay, cool. Okay, cool. But I needed to address that, okay? I needed to address that because I was kind of like, I was thinking like, yo, what the fuck is going on? I actually didn't understand the fact that that video somehow made a lot of people to think I'm an anti-Semite. I did not understand. I was like, what the fuck? A lot of people, I'm talking, if you go to the video, hey, could we get the video down, guys? Could we get that video link in the below, please, in the chat? Could you? Yeah, get that video. Put the link of that video in the chat, please. So some of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, you can go and watch it and go check the comments. Go check how many people are going after me. The video, this is the first ever video that has more comments than like. Usually if a video gets 500 likes, then there's probably like 200 comments, 300 comments. But this one has like 500 plus comments and like a couple hundred likes. Because people are so mad to comment because the title and what they're seeing, they're attacking me because I reported it. It's like, what the fuck? What in a... Okay, I was going to say some word. What in some, like... What is this? What's going on? So please, let's get the video in the chat. The video is called A Rabbi Wants to Replace... I think the video is called something. A rabbi wants to replace the white population with a new European. The new European being blacks and Muslims and Asians. Okay, all right, cool. All right, that's the video I'm talking about. We just put it there. All right, great stuff. That's the video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's the video I'm talking about. But it's important. I had to address that, folks. I just needed to put it out there. This is a channel to defend Britain, to tell you the truth and tell you exactly how it is, how I see it, exactly how it is. You'll never see me wearing some random other country flag on my shirt. If I was to go buy a t-shirt, a football t-shirt, national team, it's always gonna be England. Even if I might not like the color, maybe I might not like the way, but that's the team I've pledged my allegiance to. So you won't see me putting on a Israeli top on. You won't see me putting on a Saudi top on, or you won't see me putting on an American top on. You won't see any sort of foreign flag in my house. You'll only see the British flag, because that's the place and the country I've pledged my allegiance to. But I like everybody else who's doing their thing. Do your thing. We can be friends, but you don't have to get me to support what you support. It doesn't work like that. All right, folks. Oh, I needed to let that out. Oh, man. Don't you feel light sometimes? Don't you feel so light? I feel like I can fly right now. I've just let that out. Whew. Okay. Let's end this. I got a message for you guys. We did a poll yesterday, right? We did a poll and we said if the show should start at 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. You guys overwhelmingly voted for 5 p.m. I struggled today to get this show today. I struggled to get this show going today. So I'm sorry, folks. We're going to have to go to 4 p.m., all right? Because it works best for me. It works. I know some of you guys might be working and you can't get there on time. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to have, instead of it being 2 hours, it's going to be 3 hours instead. So I'm going to start at 4. Then I'm going to go till 7. 7 to 6 will be end. So we're going to do 3 hours, 2 hours. 3 hours or 2 hours. 3 hours or 2 hours. We've been live streaming right now for 1 hour and 50 minutes. The reason why I'm doing that is because it works best for the team that I have 4 o'clock, because it gives them more time to work on the videos. Because as soon as I stop streaming or I stop this thing, the video is saved. The full video is saved. And then they can work on it. Right now, as we're streaming, they are working on this video. This video is, right now, as I'm talking, the video is being, the parts of the thing that we've filmed is being edited. And as soon as I end the stream, the video start coming out. The later I do it, the later I start, the later they have to start working, meaning they're going to finish way later, meaning they get to finish at like 11 o'clock, which is like unfair. You know, I'm sleeping at 11 o'clock. But they're going to have to, like, you know, keep going. So that's why it's important to start at 4 o'clock, because then they can start doing their thing, and by 9 o'clock, they're done. And by 9 o'clock, I'm done as well. Everybody's done. Everybody's sleeping the next day. They pick up whatever they left on. That's why it's important, folks. So 4 o'clock, all right? I'm sorry, folks, but we have to go to 4 o'clock. And, yeah, sorry. There was a democracy yesterday, but not today. I'm a dictator now, all right? I'm dictating the time, okay? All right, folks. I'll see you tomorrow then at 4 o'clock. I'm sorry. But 4 o'clock it is tomorrow then. But without further ado, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Hand to the head salute. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Thank you. They tried to erase the signal. They pulled the plug, demonetized, censored, shadow banned. That's what they did to us. But the truth, my friend, will always find the frequency. I call this Operation Airwave Liberation, because I'm not just back, I'm broadcasting from ruined. But this time, the airwaves is mine. And this time, it's uncensored. I watched them strip everything that we built. No warning, no explanation, silence, just taking everything away. 300 plus videos deleted, all gone. And if you think this is about community guidelines, you've not been paying attention. This is a war. This is a digital gulag dressed in a terms of service type of way. They want us gone because we're saying things that they don't like. Maybe we're asking questions because we're curious. They don't like the questions we're asking. Or maybe we refuse to play nice in this echo chamber that we're in. They first hit me with the algorithm. The video's not getting enough views. Then they hit me with the monetization. Well, no money for you. But guess what? They forgot to hit my will. They thought that'll be enough. It's gonna cave and it's gonna run away. But guess what I did? I rebuilt, I rewired, I learned the game behind the curtains and see how they operate. I'm not just back. We're launching Operation Airwave Liberation. No filters, no masters, just signals. The signal they tried to block, but this time is very strong. The wind can't even penetrate through this. This, my friend, isn't just about me. It's about all of us. Every single voice that's been cancelled, clipped and used in a wrong way by the media. From now on moving forward, I'm not just creating content anymore. I'm sorry. I'm building a resistance. On camera, off grid, and above the algorithm. And if you are watching this, you are the resistance. This channel isn't just a platform. This is a broadcast tower for the truth. I'm glad I'm back.